Hello everyone, welcome to this class. In this class, we're going to solve word problem leading to linear equations. Initially, we are supposed to do quadratic equation, but we want to start with linear equation as shown in the textbook. Now let's start. For linear equation, say Dupe bought 7 kg of a rice and 8 kg of beans for 3,700 naira. So let's say rice is X and beans, sorry for that, and beans is Y. So he bought 7x, that's 7 kg of rice, plus 8y, that's 8 kg of beans, for 3,700 naira. Are we to go? In the same market, Yemisi bought 8 kg of rice and 7 kg of beans for 3,800 naira. In the same market, Yemisi bought 8x plus 7y for 3,800 naira. If each type of food is sold at same rate per kg in the market, find the price per kg of rice and per kg of beans. So now let's start solving. This is the equation we need to solve this problem. When you are dealing with word problem, all you need to do is understand the question, put it in the form of equation, and solve. Now, somebody bought 7 kg of rice. You don't know the price of 1 kg. This is Dupe, and this is Yemisi. You don't know the price of 1 kg, but you know that the combination of 7 kg of rice and 8 kg of beans gives this. At the same time, the combination of 8 kg of rice and 7 kg of beans gives this. So you are being told to find the price per 1 kg. So you don't know that. That's what we're about to solve now. So this is simultaneous linear equation. So the formula I want to use to solve this is the elimination method, where I eliminate one of the variable, find for the other one, then use what I got for the other one to get the other variable. Let's start. Let me call this equation 1 and call this equation 2. Now, to eliminate one of these variables, I'll try to make one of them equal. So let me say I want to make x equal. X here will be equal to here. What will I do? I'll multiply here by 7 all through, and multiply here by 8 all through. So let's start. I'll say equation 1, this is the equation, equation 1 multiply by 8, and equation 2. For simultaneous equation is not the scope of this class, but to solve this equation we need it, so I will not go in details explaining it. You can check our video for simultaneous equation to understand this. Equation 2 multiplied by 7. So the idea is to make one of them this equal to this. I'm targeting the x, not the y. What I did is to look for the LCM of 8 and 7. And the LCM of 8 and 7 is 56. And how do you achieve 56 here? Is by multiplying this equation by 7. And how do I achieve 56 here? Is by multiplying this equation by 8. That's what I did. Okay, let's go. 7 times 8, 56. X plus 8 times 8, 64. Y plus 8 times 0 here is 0, 8 times 0 here is 0, 8 times 7 is 56, carry 5, 8 times 3, 24 plus 5, 29. We'll solve for this. Let's solve for this. So this one will be multiplied by 7. 8 times 7, still 56x, plus 7 times 7, 49y, is still equal to 7 times 0, 0, 7 times 0, 0, 7 times 8, 56, carry 5, 7 times 3, 21 plus 5, 26. Now you can see that here and here are equal, so we just subtract. I'll call this equation 3 and this equation 4. I will say equation 3 minus equation 4. So let's go. 56 minus 56, I'll have 0x plus 64y minus 49. Carry 1, put here. I'll have 15y equal to this minus that. 0 minus 0, 0, 0 minus 0, 0, 6 minus 6, 0, 9 minus 6, 3. So what I have here now is 15y is now equal to 3000. So y will be 3000 divided by 15, and then I'll have 200. So y now is 200. What I will now do is substitute y equal to 200 in equation 1. So since I already know that y is 200, I'll just put it here and solve. So equation 1 is 7x plus 8y equal to 3700. Mind you, this is in naira. So it will be 7x plus 8 times 200 is equal to 3700. So 7x plus 1006, 8 times 200 is 1006, is equal to 3700. Let's go to the next page. First, let me bring it out here. 7x plus 1006 is equal to 3007. So the next is, take this to this side. 7x is now 3700 minus 1600. 7x is now 2100. X is 2100 divided by 7. X is now 300. It's supposed to be 300, but it's 300 naira if we change it to rice and beans. So meaning, since x is 300 and y is 200, so the price per x from our definition here is rice, while y is b. So we'll now put it inside. So the price per kg for rice is 300 naira, and the price for per kg for beans is 200 naira. Now let's go to the next question. Now we are to solve word problem leading to quadratic equation, and we have a very dicey one. When we are solving for word problem, try as much as possible to understand the sentence. Let's read. A 2-digit number is such that its 10th digit is greater than its unit digit by 4. Let me take down some points. Okay, let me leave it. I will do it by 4. The 2-digit number is less than 4 times the product of its digit by 11. Find the number. Now, for you to understand this, you have to understand number system very, very, very well. Now, before I solve this, I have to explain number system. This is a 1-digit number, right? 1. And this is another digit number. We have, let me say, 25. This is a 2-digit number. Let me bring another digit number. We have 814. Now, first thing you have to note is number 1 is what is digit. Digit is what makes up the number. This is a digit. This is 2-digit number. 2 and 5 is the digit. This is a 3-digit number. 8, 1, and 4 is digits. Whatever makes up the number is digit. So I'll bring up this one. Take note of this point. The next thing we are going to take note is the position. This is a unit number, so it's just unit, no need. But this is now a 2-digit number. It has a position. This has a unit position. When you have a number, it has a position. The position of 5 here is 1. The position of, that's what I call unit. The position of 2 here is tenths. That's what I call tenth. I will explain this digit coming. The position of 4 here is unit, so here is 1. Position of 1 here is tenths, and the position of 8 here is hundredth. So what do I mean by position? What I mean is that here is still 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Here is 5 times. What makes up this number is 2 times 10 plus 5 times 1. This is just elementary maths, but let me treat it here so you can understand what we want to solve here. So you have 20 plus 5. That's what makes up this 25. Coming here, we have 4 times 1 plus 1 times 10 plus 8 times 100. So we have 800 plus 10 plus 4. That's what makes up this number. Hope you're understanding it. So the next thing we're talking about is position. And in position, in the case of our question, is 2-digit number. So we are going to deal with units and tens. So let's start solving. A 2-digit number is such that its tens digit is greater than its unit digit by 4. So the first thing we are going to deal with is, let's call the number x and y. Since it is a 2-digit number, we already know that here is a unit digit and here is a tens digit. So what makes up this number, like what number this number represents? Like x is a digit, y is a digit, so know the difference. But the real number here is 10x plus y. That's what makes up whatever number that is here. The same way we have 20 plus 5, because the whatever that is in the tens position we multiply by 10 plus what is in the unit position we multiply by 1. Hope you understand this. So this is the number we are talking about. Let's go to the next question. The first point, now we have done this 2-digit number, we've analyzed it. The next thing we have to analyze is that is such that its tens digit is greater than its unit digit by 4. So what they are trying to say is that x is greater than y by 4. Which example will I give? Let me draw a line here and use it for example. Let's assume the number we're talking about is 85 now. It means that this is a tens digit. What makes up this number is 80 plus 5, right? Because 80 times 10 plus 5 times 1. But now, as a digit, 8 is greater than 5 by what? 3. So you can actually call this number 5 plus 3 and 5. In that case, it will still be 5 plus 3 is 8 and 5 is 5. That's if you are to represent it as a digit. But if you are to get the real number, it will be 10, because this is the tens position. 5 plus, this is 5, plus 3 plus 5. So it will be 10 times 8 plus 5, which is still giving us our 85 back. So let's come back to what we are doing. They said that the tens digit is greater than unit digit by 4. So it means that this x is greater than y by 4. So x will be equal to y plus 4, because x is greater than y by 4. So let's put it back inside this equation. I will now have 10 bracket y plus 4 plus y. This is still my digit. This is still the number I'm looking for. Now we've solved for this question till here. Now let's continue. The 2-digit number is less than 4 times the product of its digit by 11. Now let's not get it twisted. They say 4 times the product of its digit. Now this is what makes up the digit x and y, which can also be expressed as y plus 4, and because x is y plus 4. So since x is y plus 4, you can also express this digit as y plus 4 and y. Whatever I have here is already what is here. So they are saying that when these 2 digits, when x, like let me say 4 times x times y, they are trying to say that 4, the individual digit when multiplied, they said is less than 4 times the product of its digit by 11. So meaning that the digit itself is less than this by 11. So to get the real digit, it will be 10 y plus 4 plus y plus 11. I just hope we understand this. Let me use a real number to express it. Let's assume the 2 digit is 15, for example. They are saying that 4 times 1 times 5. 4 times 1 is 4 times 5 is 20. So they are trying to compare this 20 with the real digit itself, which is meaning that 20 is greater than this by what? In the case of this example, 20 is greater than 15 by 5. So you can say 20 is equal to 15 plus 5. This is 15 plus 5. This is what I did here. The individual digit multiplied by 4 is greater than the real number itself by 11. So I'm adding that 11 so that these two equations will be equal. So let's express the equation we are looking for. So our real equation is 4 times x is the same thing as y plus 4. So I'll replace x with y plus 4. Y plus 4 times y, which is equal to 10 y plus 4. You know how we'll come about this? The real number we are looking for plus 11. So this is the equation. In case you don't understand this, by the time we solve the next question, maybe it will get more clearer. So all we need to do is open up this equation and solve for it using our any of the quadratic method we have studied in the last class. So this will be 4y plus 16 all multiplied by y is equal to, let's open up this bracket, 10y plus 40 plus y plus 11. So open up the bracket further, 4y squared plus 16y equal to 10y plus y, 11y plus 40 plus is 51. So let's continue the next page. So I have written it out in the next page, so let's continue. So the first thing we have to do is to bring this to the one side of the equation. It will be 4y squared plus 16y. When this cross equation, it becomes 11y minus 51. They are all now equal to 0. So it will be 4y squared plus 5y minus 51 is now equal to 0. Remember what we did when we are solving quadratic equation. If we are to use factorization method here, we are going to look for two numbers that when you multiply them you get the product of this, but when you add them you get this. Product of 4 times 51 is minus 204, while the other one we are looking for is 5. So the two numbers are 17 and minus 12. 17 times minus 12 will give you minus 204. 17 plus 12 will give you our 5. So let's rewrite this equation. You have 4y squared plus 17y minus 12y minus 51 is 0. So you see that we just rewrite this equation in another form, because when you add this you are still getting your 5y back. Nothing changed. So we start taking like 10. What's common here? Y. When you take y, 4y squared divided by y, you have 4y plus 17y divided by y, you have 17. What's common here? Minus 3. Minus 3. Minus 12y divided by minus 2 minus 3, you have 4y positive. Minus 51 divided by minus 3, you have plus 17 all equal to 0. Now the bracket is the same, so we take it out. 4y plus 17. The next one will be y minus 3. They are all equal to 0. Now to find the solution, is either this is 0 or that is 0. So let's solve for the first solution. Let's say this is 0. It will be 4y plus 17 is 0. 4y is minus 17. Y is minus 17 over 4. This is the first solution. Second solution is when this is 0. We now have y minus 3 is 0. Y is 3. The second solution. Now mind you, this is a quadratic equation and these are the two roots of this our equation that we are able to find. Where is our main equation? This is our main equation. But because we are dealing with digit number, it must be a whole number and it cannot be negative. Here we have a fraction and we also have negative, so this is totally out. This cannot be the answer. The answer can only be 3. So it's either is this or this. But in the case of logic, now we have to apply logic. This is what you see when you are dealing with word problem, because we are dealing with, it's like when you solve for quadratic equation of human beings and after you finish solve you get something like 1 over 2. Human being cannot be 1 over 2, so you have to look for the one that is a whole number, or you finish solve you get minus. Human being cannot be minus. So this is part of what you will consider while solving for this. So now that we know that y is 3, now let's put it back in our equation. From our equation here, we already know that the two digits are x and y, and x is y plus 4. So the two digits will now be, we all know that the two digits are x and y, and x is equal to y plus 4. So since y is 3, x will now be equal to 3 plus 4, which is what? 7. So the two digit number are 7 and 3. So 73 is the number, is the answer. So the first thing we are going to do is to check if this satisfies what we are being told to check. The first thing we are told is that the two digit number is such a way that the tens is greater than the unit by 4. So this is the tens digit, which is 7, is greater than unit by 4, obviously. That's what we did here. Now the second thing we are being told is, what is it? The two digit number is less than 4 times the product of each digit by 11. So they say that 4 times the product of each digit times 7 times 3. So 4 times 7 is what? 28. Then 28 times 3 is 28 times 3 is 84. This is 84. So they are saying that this is greater than this by 11. So let's check. 84 minus 73. 4 minus 3 is 1. 8 minus 7 is 1. So you see that we are able to satisfy the two conditions. So this is actually the digit we are looking for. Let's solve for this. The sum of the digits of a two-digit number is 14. The tens digit is the square of a number, which is 2, less than the unit digit. Find the two-digit number. So let's start solving. So let's start picking up the question one after the other. The sum of the digits of a two-digit number. Let's call the two-digit number x and y. This is a tens and this is a unit. But they say that the first sentence said that the sum of this is 14. So I will say x plus y is what? 14. This is my first equation, equation 1. Now, the second sentence says the tens digit is the square of a number, which is 2 less than the unit digit. This one is very simple and straightforward. So you're trying to say that this x here is the square of a number that is 2 less than y. So meaning that when you find the square root of x, whatever you get will be less than y by 2. So I can say something like x square root is y minus 2. Very simple. Because they say, let me read it again. The tens digit is the square of a number, which is 2 less than the unit digit. So this is the tens digit. They said this is the square of a number, which the square root, they didn't say it direct, but that's what they mean, is 2 less than y. So this is the explanation. So this is our equation 2. So these are the two equations we need to solve for this. This one is very simple, unlike the other one. So what we need to do is remove the square root from x by squaring both sides. If you square both sides, x will now be x, y this will be y minus 2 all square, which is equal to y minus 2, y minus 2. So x will be equal to y times y, y squared, y times 2 minus 2y, 2 times y minus 2y, 2 times 2 plus 4, which is equal to y squared minus 4y plus 4. So your x now is y squared minus 4y plus 4. Let me call this equation 3. So I'm going to put this equation 3 into this equation 1. So this is my equation 1. I'll replace this x by that. So from equation 1, x will now be y squared minus 4y plus 4. That's x, then plus y. This y here is equal to 14. Then let's move 14 to the other side. Y squared minus 4y plus 4 plus y equal minus 14 is 0. So let's add up everything. Y squared minus 4y plus y minus 3y plus 4 minus 14 is minus 10 is now 0. So this is the equation we are going to solve for to get the value of x and y. So let me solve it in the next page. I'm going to rewrite this out. I'll have y squared minus 3y minus 10 is what? 0. So I'm going to find two numbers using factorization method. I'm going to find two numbers that when you multiply, then you get minus 10, because this is your a times c is minus 10. YB is minus 3. So find the two numbers when you multiply, then you get minus 10, but when you add, then you get minus 3. So those two numbers are minus 5 and plus 2. So let's rewrite this equation. I'll have y squared minus 5y plus 2y minus 10 equal to 0. So what is common here? Y squared divided by y, have y. Minus 5y divided by y, have minus 5. What's common here? 2. 2y over 2, you have y. Minus 10 over 2, you have minus 5 equal to 0. So these two are the same. So you have y minus 5, y plus 2. So one of these is the answer. So let's solve for when is first solution is y minus 5 is 0. So y is what? 5. This is your first solution when you solve for this. But when you solve for that, you have y plus 2 is 0, y is minus 2. So you have y as 5 or minus 2. But because we are dealing with two-digit number, this minus 2 will not be your answer, obviously. So y is 5. You see where we apply this logic again the second time. So now I will know that y is 5 from equation 1. X plus y is 14. So let's apply it. X plus y is equal to 14. So since y is 5, it will be x plus 5 is 14. So x is 14 minus 5, which is what? 9. So x is 9 and y is 5. So the two-digit number is what? 95. This is our answer. So to prove our answer further, we can say, okay, according to the question, they says that the sum of both of them is 14. So 9 plus 5 is obviously 14. So that first sentence is true. The second sentence is that this is a number, that x, which is the 10th digit, is a number that the square of that this is the square of a number that is 2 less than 5. So the square of which number that when you multiply it you get this. Obviously we know that it's either minus 3 or plus 3, but because we are dealing with digit number, negative is not considered in this case. So the answer is obviously 3. The square root of 9 is 3, and 3 is obviously 2 less than 5. So the second condition is satisfied. So 95 is our answer. Thank you very much, and see you in the next class. If you have any question, please do wait to drop in the comment section, because obviously this first question we solve here is really complex. So anyone that has question can drop for further explanation. Thank you.